Hello, I'm Bethany from Bethany Wellness. Join me for this Recover yoga class. Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me for this Recover yoga class. This class is designed for you if you're recovering from an illness, from COVID, from just a general cold, or maybe even just from a medical thing like surgery or some sort of medical treatment. So this is a very gentle, bring some range of motion and just get the flow going. So some items you would like to have might be blocks and a blanket. We're going to begin with legs elevated or legs up the wall. If you don't have a space at the wall, you can certainly just grab a chair and just rest your legs on a chair or an ottoman or a couch. And so first, as we begin to bring our legs up, just come to lying on your side. So picking a side, left or right, doesn't matter. And then you're bending the knees so that they're tucked kind of up into your torso. And then you can begin to make your way onto your back as you swing those legs up. And of course, your glutes might make connection there with the wall. That would be ideal if they did connect towards the wall. And then your legs can be straight or slightly bent. And you're just resting the heels into the wall. If you're choosing a couch or an ottoman, just simply rest your feet up onto that piece of furniture. And let's place right hand to belly, left hand to heart center, and begin to connect to your breath. Taking a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And let's do 5 count inhale and a 5 count exhale. So just finding a slower breathing pattern. Breathing in through your nose for 5 and out your mouth for 5. Now, if your nose is still completely stuffed up from perhaps a sickness, then just breathe with your mouth. Begin to settle in here, just settling into your breath, a slow breathing pattern, allowing your body to settle down into the ground, so that idea of melting into the ground. Seeing where you can be soft, noticing if you're gripping any of the muscles in your face, in your jaw, your arms, your neck. Just notice, just tune in and notice where else you can be soft. And meet yourself where you're at today, knowing that if we're recovering from something, we might not be 100%. Maybe we're 70%, 80%, whatever it is for you. Meet yourself where you're at with compassion, with grace, and just knowing that you will do what you can do in your practice today and you will honor your body in doing what feels comfortable and avoiding anything that does not feel comfortable. Maybe this current pose doesn't feel comfortable. If that's the case, bend the knees, hug them in towards your torso. Couple more breaths. And then begin to hug those knees in towards your torso. So walking the feet down from the wall or bringing them off of the piece of furniture you had them resting on. Just giving a gentle hug of the knees. You can widen the knees if that feels better. And then slowly roll to one side. Take a couple breaths on your side. And then begin to help yourself up, rising up to a seated position. Here's where you may wish to have a blanket or the blocks to support you. So today's practice is all about recovery and support. So just doing whatever is going to help you feel comfortable. I'm choosing to sit on a blanket. I have my blanket rolled so that I can sit towards the front of that roll, and it allows my sits bones and my pelvis to sort of tilt downwards, which helps the spine lengthen up. And I can already tell I'm going to need some blocks. So I feel like that my left leg won't release, so I'm going to choose blocks to support me in the pose. So just go ahead and do whatever you need to do to support you in your pose. And let's connect here. So you can have hands resting down on your lap. You can have them sort of down into your ankles or your feet. Maybe close your eyes and reconnect to those 5-second breaths. So inhaling through your nose for 5, exhaling out your mouth for 5. Think about letting go as you exhale, letting go of expectations of feeling a certain way today. Letting go of expectations of what our body should do in a moment of recovery, and just finding that acceptance of where it is at. Good. Then inhale, take a nice breath in for 5, bringing the arms up. Then exhale, trace your breath down for 5, tracing the hands from forehead to waist. Do that again. Inhale, bring the arms up for 5. Exhale out your mouth, tracing the breath down. One more time. Inhale, bring arms up. Exhale, release down, tracing breath with palms rotated down for 5 seconds. Good. Then give your arms a little shake, releasing the shoulders down. You can even kind of shrug them up and down. Hands back to your lap. Inhale, bring those arms up. Then exhale, take a gentle twist to the left. So bringing the right hand to your left thigh, using your left hand behind you as support, maybe tripod those fingers. Just a gentle spinal twist. Inhale back to center, both arms high. Exhale, twist to the right. Bring left hand to right thigh. Right hand supports you. Staying with breath here. Letting your breath flow in a nice slow pattern. Inhale back to center, both arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Release your hands down in front of you. Take a gentle fold, hinging from the waist, from the hips. And then tucking chin maybe down a little bit towards chest. Let's find our 5 breath count here, or 5-second count here. So inhaling for 5, exhaling for 5. Taking your time with breath, allowing your breath to draw you into the present moment. Allowing your breath to help you let go, letting go of anything that interferes, whether it's expectations or worry, anxiety, stress, whatever it is. Letting it go. Being present in this moment. One final breath here. And inhale, rise back up. Switch the crossing of your legs. And if you don't want to have crossed legs anymore, that's fine. You can choose butterfly pose with the soles of the feet connecting in front of you, or you can even just stretch the legs out. Maybe your legs are feeling a little bit tired. Good, then let's inhale for 5, tracing the breath down as you exhale for 5. Let's do that again. Inhale for 5, raise the arms up. Exhale for 5. One more time. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, trace breath down for 5. Rest the hands down in your lap. Then reach the arms up. Exhale for spinal twist to the left. Taking that same twist, you can make a variation here. If you'd like to be less of a twist, you can just maybe come a little bit more forward with that back hand. Tripoding those fingers. Inhale back to center, both arms high. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, both arms high, back to center. Exhale, forward fold, release the hands in front of you. Taking a gentle fold forward, tucking chin down. Finding the surrender in your fold. Finding the letting go with your breath. Each exhale helps you to let go. Finding some gentle movement, knowing that through movement and breath, you might open space, you might open just a sensation of feeling a little more awake or alert, especially if you had maybe the foggy head kind of thing going on with a cold that you might have had. Or just knowing that you can find peace and stillness even in moments when we're not feeling 100%. Good, then slowly rise back up, walking your hands in, and then coming into tabletop on your hands and knees. If you have tender knees, just place a blanket underneath the knees. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's go through some cow-cat breaths. Inhale, let your belly soften down as you take your gaze forward or up for cow pose. Exhale, tuck and round into cat. Press through your palms, gaze back, tucking chin to chest, cat pose. Go at your own pace with your breath. Link your breath to your movement and feel that fluid sensation of the breath linked to the movement. Take your time. Think about those 5 counts as you inhale and exhale, just taking a slow pattern of breath, slowing down your breath. Let's do one more cow, one more cat. Good, then curl your toes. Shift the hips back a little bit towards your heels. Just feel a nice stretch through the feet. You can even take another variation here. You can lift the knees up if that feels better. Crouching down into a little bit of a low squat. And whichever variation you've selected, go ahead and rise up to a gentle forward fold. So you can lift the hips up from here, maybe walk your feet a little bit more towards the top of the mat. Coming into a forward fold, or if that does not feel comfortable because maybe there's too much pressure in the head, come into a halfway lift, drawing the hands up to the shins and connecting those shoulder blades a little bit back behind you, creating a number 7 with your body. So whichever variation of the fold, a halfway lift or a fold you would like. If you're in the full forward fold, maybe bend the knees a lot here so it's more gentle, or widen the feet. Give your head a little nod, yes and no. You can even grab opposite hand to the opposite arm if that feels good. Then come into a halfway lift if you're not there already. Draw hands to shins or thighs, gaze down. Bring arms out to a T. Begin to rise up nice and slow, taking your time, keeping the back straight. Till you rise all the way up, bring the arms overhead. Then trace the breath down from forehead to waist. Palms rotate down, exhaling for 5. Bring arms by sides. Let's do some more breath tracing. Inhale, bring the arms up for 5. Exhale out your mouth, tracing breath down for 5. One more time. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, trace breath down. Good. Mountain pose, hands by sides. Find your footwork here, so just the foundation through your feet, lifting the toes, placing them back down. Slight bend to the knees, and just a slight tuck of the tailbone so we're not overly arching the spine. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Bring the right arm behind you as the left arm stays towards the front. Gaze towards your back hand. Both hips are forward, so a little bit of a twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, open arm twist to the left. Left arm behind you, right arm in front. Inhale, back to center. Interlace fingers, press palms away from you. Lift out of your heels into palm tree pose. Good. Then release the heels, sit back into a chair pose. Arms overhead or shoulder height or heart center. Feet are together or apart. Make sure your knees match. And then just a neutral spine, so we're not overly arching like a gymnast, and we're not overly rounding. We're leaving that nice lumbar curve. Bring hands to heart center, then exhale into a forward fold or a halfway lift. And from here, come back into tabletop. So just releasing the knees down and then coming back into a seated pose. So finding your support again, your blanket if you would like. Choosing either cross-legged, butterfly, or legs stretched out. Good. Resting hands in your lap. Let's make sure we get our neck and our shoulders opened up a little here. So gaze up, just looking up towards the ceiling. Only as far as feels comfortable in your neck or in your sinuses or whatever you're dealing with today. Then tuck the chin down towards chest. Good. Look straight ahead, then look to the left. And back to center, and then look to the right. And back to center. Now slowly release left ear towards the left shoulder. If this feels comfortable, you can stay here. If you would like to explore another option, you can bring your right arm out and kind of choose the height that feels best to you. And then create a little bird beak. That's where we draw the fingertips to the thumb and then gently bend that bird beak in towards the elbow. So the tip of the beak comes in towards your elbow, bending at the wrist. And you can change the height of the arm once again if that feels better. And if you've joined me with that bird beak, go ahead and release, stretch the fingers out, and then begin to bend at the wrist as you point the fingers up towards the ceiling. Or maybe not quite up toward the ceiling, maybe a little bit out to the side. Good. Then release the right arm down, bring your head back to center. Other side. Release right ear towards right shoulder. You can choose here if you're going to stay in this variation, or if you'd like to explore bringing the left hand out, stretching it out, changing the height to where it feels best for your stretch. And then also choosing if you'd like to implement the bird beak, bring fingertips to the thumb, and then bend the beak inward towards your elbow. Steady breath. Good. If you joined me with the bird beak, go ahead and stretch the fingers out towards the side and then gently lift them up towards the sky. Just a subtle bend at the wrist. You can change the height of that arm too. Good. Then release the arm down if you had it stretched out. Bring your gaze back to center. Inhale, arms high, interlace fingers, press the palms away from you and gaze up. So lifting and lengthening through the spine. Now exhale, tuck and round. Bring the palms towards shoulder height, tuck chin towards chest, and round through your spine, through the shoulder blades, all the way down to the waist. Tucking that chin in. And inhale, rise back up. Release the arms down, and this time bring the palms back behind you, pressing into your right and left sides, kind of right above your hips, along your spine, but your palms are on the muscular part, not on the spine, and the fingers are rotated down. Take an inhale as you begin to gently look up, and then just explore here if you would like to draw the elbows back just a little bit, just to open the chest and shoulders. And you're sitting more towards the front of your sits bones, just to feel a little bit more of that spine lengthening up. Good, then release, give it a little shake. Very nice, and come onto your back, just lying down on your back. Hugging the knees in. So as you come to lying down, just give your knees a nice little gentle hug. Widen the knees as much as you would like, especially if you feel any pinching on the front hip flexor on that psoas. You can rock a little bit side to side and just explore here as you're connecting to the mat lying down, what feels comfortable, what feels good. Sometimes I like to play with just rotating the feet and pointing and flexing the toes. Sometimes it's nice to come into happy baby where you just kind of bring your hands to the arch side of your feet or to the big toes. That doesn't feel good to me today, so I'm not going to choose it. Every day is different, so you have to just explore what works in your body today. Good. Then release the feet down to the mat. Figure 4 pose. Cross right ankle over left thigh, and then press the right knee gently away from you using your right hand. If your wrist gets tired, you might want to do a fist so that the wrist stays straight, or you can thread hands behind left leg and hug in. And just see what feels comfortable in that right hip and the right glutes, even into the right thigh. How's your breath? Breath is the number one thing in yoga to pay attention to, is to just notice, what am I doing with my breath? And breath can anchor us into the present moment and draw us into calm and help open space and help us to let go. Uncross your figure 4, hug both knees in. Switching sides, bring both feet to the mat first, then cross left ankle over right thigh for figure 4. Choose your variation of pressing the left leg away or threading hands behind right leg and hugging in. Finding your 5 count breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Uncross figure 4, hug both knees in. Good. Release the feet down and find lying down butterfly pose, also called reclined bound angle. So let the soles of your feet connect, and let the knees open up to the sides, kind of like a book. You can choose to have the soles of the feet closer up to the sits bones or farther away. You can also choose to place fists right underneath where your thighs meet your hip or your glutes. Or if you have pillows or blocks, you can place those underneath each thigh. Connecting with breath here, noticing the belly rise and fall with each breath. Then slowly draw the knees back together, preparing for spinal twist. So if you like a deeper twist, feet will be close together and the knees are close. If you like more gentle, walk the feet and the knees nice and wide. Arms connect to a T, so palms down at shoulder height. Inhale first, then exhale as the legs release to the left. Gaze is up, or you can look a little bit to the right. Saturating your torso with breath, so keeping a nice full breathing pattern even though we're twisting through the torso. Inhale, legs to center. Exhale, release the legs to the right. Gaze is up or to the left. Nice full breath. Inhale, legs to center. Hug them in towards your torso. Then release your legs and feet down. Take a nice stretch. So stretching the legs out, stretching arms overhead. Feeling if you would like a gentle stretch, just having maybe the arms gently reaching over, or if you'd like an active stretch, really reaching with the toes and reaching with the fingers. Only what feels comfortable. Sometimes I like to shimmy my legs a little bit and just stretch each one individually. Sometimes that feels nice to sort of lengthen the right leg, then lengthen the left leg. So just play around with that. Then releasing down for your final surrender for Shavasana. You can choose if you'd like blanket, pillows, if you'd like to have socks or a long sleeve. Just connect here to your mat, melting down, surrendering to this moment of relaxation. Maybe closing your eyes. Reconnect here to the 5-second inhale and 5-second exhale. Being very mindful of taking your time with breath and letting that translate into your recovery, into taking your time in your recovery, honoring your body, never forcing or demanding that it function in a certain way. Just try to meet yourself where you are with grace, with loving kindness, and with compassion and understanding that hopefully it's just temporary, right? Hopefully we are moving through and coming back to normal. But what if it's not? What if it's not temporary? What if this is a new normal? Can you be okay with that? Can you still meet yourself with grace, with kindness, with love? Allow each breath to draw you in to relaxation. Allow all the muscles in your face to relax. Your forehead opens, eyebrows and eyelids are soft. Your nostrils release, and your mouth and jaw neutral. Shoulders sink down a little more as both arms filled with relaxation, moving down to the wrists, to the hands, to the tips of your fingers. Torso and your hips release down, feeling the support of the ground. Both legs filled with relaxation, moving through your ankles to your feet, to the tips of your toes. Feeling more relaxed with each breath, feeling a little bit restored from your practice. Final surrender, Shavasana. Bring a nice deep breath back in and bring some movement back in. So wiggling the fingers and the toes, bringing awareness, and taking whatever next variation you would like. If you would like to take an overall stretch, if you would like to just roll to your side and spend a couple breaths on your side. Gently coming back into movement and gently and slowly rising up to a seated position. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this nurtured your mind, your body, and your spirit. We'll end with Namaste. The teacher in me honors the teacher in you. Namaste. Be well.